Have you ever noticed that when you set a clear or high intention, something of a lower nature inside yourself begins to interfere or sabotage your best efforts? We often respond by being at odds with ourselves, rather than trying to embrace and understand our lower functioning, so that we can truly move into higher octaves of functioning, intellectually, emotionally, and spiritually. Neil Kramer speaks of these levels of awareness along with another point that intrigues me, which is, who are the people who create what we are to believe is the norm?
When you look at what is normal, I don't know anybody who's contributed to normal. The people that I know make images that do not fit into that paradigm at all. And the musicians alike and the artists alike, none of them do that. So the normal mainstream sliver of 3D reality doesn't come from us, essentially. And I think a lot of people in the alternative communities and what used to be perhaps called the New Age movement are not really wanting to look too deeply into that, because it's a bit dark, a bit conspiratorial, a bit shadowy. But I wanted to touch on it really as a sort of polarity springboard to say, let us understand this, because we can move away from that culture to generate our own, and we can move away from that normality to realize that when you're in a place like this and you're talking about higher dimensional experiences, and you're talking about transcendent experiences, and you're talking about spiritual philosophy, that's considered abnormal from the construct, which is synthetic. But actually here, it's the most normal thing in the world, because this is the organic, normal world. This is human beings who naturally ascend, who naturally want to discover and explore and know and share and tell their story and so on. And yet it is very much a temple and an oasis of that kind of energy here. And I know for a lot of people, not all, but for a lot of people who are visiting here this weekend, they will go home to a kind of culture duality shock.
Yes.
Where they'll move from a place of organic, normal human behavior to a place of very artificial, very toxic, abnormal human behavior. But because it has consensus approval and formal stamp of, officially sanctioned normality, people forget very quickly which is normal and which is weird.
Neil has a great amount of depth in his words and calls out the best in us. For the full interview, go to cmn.tv.